I want to delve into kind of what happens when we allow something to unfold. And to do that, I want to start kind of at the beginning about when we create an intention. In other words, when we create something that we'd like to have happen, we'd like something to awaken in ourselves. We'd like to experience something in our life. So we create an intention. Now, the reason, the way I recommend that we create intentions is to do that in a way that's collaborative with the universe, collaborative with spirit. And the whole idea of that is that the universe and spirit can see more of the possibilities than, say, our minds can. So our minds only it's limited by what we're aware of. Whereas the universe understands all the magic and the interconnections and the dimensions and the way that, just all of these things, the energies. And so if we enlist spirit, we invite spirit to help us create something, we get this benefit of, seeing all these things that our conscious mind is not able to comprehend. We get way more opportunities, way more magic, the shortcuts, things can just be right there. And so that's kind of, in my opinion, that's why there may be other reasons as well, but that's like the most compelling reason and kind of why I started doing this type of work, why I started doing that. So what happens is we create an intention, and when we create an intention, it doesn't have form. Okay, it's just something, I want to awaken this thing in myself. I want to awaken a deeper sense of intuition in myself. Okay, say. So it doesn't, like, a clear intention. I really get into this in my book called Natural Way of Being. What happens is, if we don't have, if it doesn't have form, it allows more possibilities from spirit, from the universe. So it's like when I say I want to have a deeper sense of intuition, it's like my mind doesn't need to construct how that's going to be or what that's going to be like, because it doesn't really know, But if we just say, I want more of this, and I want to be able to connect with people more and sense what, my heart or my intuition is saying to me, or what my spirit guides are saying to me, it's like, if we just have this general intention, then we can kind of leave the form and how that works and how it's going to happen. We can leave that to spirit. We can leave that to the universe. If we want something outside of ourselves, if we want, say, the one I often use is if we want a close relationship, or we want a sense of community. We want to be part of a community. Those are two that I often use. So it's like, I want a relationship that has these qualities. Okay, I want to have closeness, and I want to have honesty, and I want to have trust, or whatever those are for you. Like, what are those things? And then we let go of who that specific person is. Okay, how we're gonna meet them, and how the dance of meeting them and trusting each other and intimacy, we can let go of that and allow that stuff to unfold. If we're creating community, it's like we can just say, I would like this, but we don't have to have a specific community in mind. Now, we can, if we say, it'd be cool to be part of that community, that's fine. We can explore that. But we also just say, I want community. So maybe it's that one that I thought it was, or maybe it's another one that I'm not aware yet. Same with relationship. Maybe it's that person that I'm attracted to, and it's like, oh, it's got to be her, right? Look at her. It's got to be her. And it's like, but actually maybe it's her friend, that we're not even noticing, and there, yet there she is, and so, and it works from both sides of the fence. Obviously there he is, so anyway, it's letting go of the form. So we have this intention, and it's just the thing that we want to awaken. It's the thing we want to create. It's the thing we want to allow in our life. Relationship, community, intuition. It's the thing we want to have in our life. If we just say, okay, the clear intention is I would like some of that, and help me unfold that. So then that creates a partnership with spirit to unfold that thing. So we're into this thing, and it seems like to our conscious mind often that nothing is happening. It's like, because in the things that are happening, we don't understand, and we don't see how they're progress. We don't see how meeting this person is actually a building block that's going to help us meet the community, or what. We don't see that stuff, right? We're blind. We're kind of flying blind. We're not blind to our kind of our more willful intention. We can see that because we created it with our thought. We know we're aware of it. But the more, like, the thing that the universe is unfolding with us, okay, is we're not often conscious of how that's going. So it feels like, well, shit, no, nothing's happening, and then we start doubting. We start losing our trust, because often this thing that we wanted is a little bit against our limiting beliefs anyway. It's like, oh, I don't know if, having a love relationship is really in the books for me, or being part of a community. I don't know if that can work. I don't know if I'm able to trust my intuition. So there's already a little doubt there. So then nothing's happening, at least nothing's happening that our conscious mind understands. So we start doubting. And then we say, okay, well, nothing's happening, so I better help this along a little bit. Okay, and so I'm gonna start pushing for things to happen. Okay, I'm gonna pick something, and it's like, okay, that looks like a good community. That looks like a good person to connect with, to have a relationship with, or maybe I'll read this book to learn how to tap into my intuition. So we start pushing, and in my book I call this willful intent. And don't get me wrong, willful intent's good for creating some things, but it's different energy than what I call, willful creation's a different energy than what I call collaborative creation, and which I've also called natural creation, because it naturally unfolds. So we start pushing it, and then that that changes it. When we start pushing for something, we start looking in that direction, and we start not seeing the things that are coming in other directions. Back to my relationship, we start seeing the one person, but we don't see her friend. We see, so we start missing the cues. And so when we start pushing for things to happen, we're not able to see kind of what is happening, naturally what's unfolding, because it kind of skews our perception. We're like, it's almost like listening, right? When you're talking, you can't really listen, right? It's the same idea. I know I've done it, or maybe you've been on the other side of a conversation where someone, it just talks, but they don't listen. Or, sometimes maybe you've been in a conversation when, rather than listening, you start thinking about what you're going to say next, and then you miss. It's like, what did you say? It's like, well, because you were thinking about your response and you didn't hear it. Same thing when we're thinking about what we want to happen or what we're going to push to happen, we're no longer able to really clearly experience what is happening. So then now the universe is maybe showing us a doorway for the thing we want to happen, and now we're not seeing it, or we discount it because it's not in line with the thing we're pushing to happen. So then this really cool practice is to ask yourself, what is happening when you're not pushing for something to happen? What is just, if we just sit with it, and we get to the part where we say nothing's happening. It's like, that's okay, it's not happening, or maybe things are happening, but I can't see it yet. So I'm just going to sit there, I'm going to go into the world, and I'm just going to notice what's there without me wanting any specific thing. I want the intention, but I'm letting go of the form of the way that can come in. So I can just go out and start looking finally objectively. Some people call it neutrally, so objectively and clearly, like, what's here? What is coming to me? I put out an intention. What is coming to me? Which is, so we're allowing energy in. What is coming to me? What are the doorways? What are the possibilities? What are people saying to me? What are the hints? What are the experiences? What are the lessons? What are the feelings? What are the thoughts that come out of nowhere? What are the synchronicities? All that, like what is coming to me? And then, see, now we're able to hear and see and experience what spirit, what the universe is trying to unfold with us. But we've got to stop making things happen, because then we miss it. My teacher used to talk about, the first thing he would say, he was talking about how to allow energy in. He'd say, stop pushing energy out. It's the first step. Because we're conditioned to push energy out. We're conditioned to make things happen, to push for things, to control things, to get people to like us, to get people to, give us, all that stuff. And it's not even that that's wrong. It just gets in the way of collaborative creation. It gets in the way. What doesn't get in the way, if we stop pushing energy out and just stop and then say, okay, what's here? What is happening? What is coming to me? What am I experiencing from inside? What am I feeling? What are people saying to me? What is coming to me? Then we can start hearing and seeing and experiencing what is unfolding. It's a really challenging practice sometimes, especially when we start doubting. It takes a lot of trust that the universe is going to provide and unfold this thing, but it might not be in our time frame. It might not come the way it might not be in the form we thought it would be in. We miss it altogether because it didn't fit our picture. We almost have to, we talk about, there's a phase of the creation process where we have to let go of the picture. And then we can just sit there and say, okay, what are these things that are coming to me? What a cool practice in itself to just, what has been coming to me these last couple of days? What are the interesting comments that people have said to me? Who seems to, be, being drawn, who seems to be coming in? What am I drawn to? And what am I not drawn to? What are the things coming? What am I attracted to? What am I interested in? What am I, all this stuff. This is what is happening. This is what's coming to me. This is what's unfolding in our lives now. If we can retrain ourselves to start focusing on that rather than what our mind thinks should be happening, then we can start seeing what the universe is helping us to unfold. So that is my video for this week. Thank you for that journey. And hopefully it's helpful. I know it's something that I'm looking at in myself right now. And I'm thought perhaps maybe that it might benefit you as a reminder. And so anyway, I hope you enjoy your week. And as you do, perhaps just spend a little time. It's a perfect time of year to do that, right? It's January, not much going on. So just, just maybe stop pushing your energy out and notice what's here, what is happening, what is coming to me. It may seem like nothing, but if you sit with it long enough, maybe it is nothing. Maybe it's not nothing. Maybe there's some subtle things that are happening that I wasn't noticing when my mind was trying to make things happen. And I will see you in a week.